I applied for the green card lottery and won 2 times. I helped my brother, I guided him through the process, and he applied for the green card lottery and he won. After that, 4 of my friends that I personally advised on what they needed to do before application ended up winning the green card lottery. Since what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna review how to apply again. I'm gonna go over the application again. Hello and welcome to my channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I'm gonna go ahead and encourage you to subscribe. And if you've already subscribed to my channel, I just want to say thank you for subscribing to my channel and thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate your continued support. I applied for the green card lottery and won 2 times. I helped my brother, I guided him through the process, and he applied for the green card lottery and he won. After that, 4 of my friends that I personally advised on what they needed to do before application ended up winning the green card lottery. And as a result, I'm sharing all the advice that I gave them in my videos. So if you want to know how to increase your chances of winning the green card lottery, please watch all my videos, and when you apply for the green card lottery, you'll have increased your chances of being selected as a DV lottery winner. If this is your first time on this channel, I encourage you to go back and watch all my videos about the DV lottery to get the full benefits of the requirements before you apply. I did a video about the photo requirements, I did a video on the application, I did a video on how to use a photo tool to edit your photos. So make sure you go back and review all those videos, and if you have questions, I encourage you to type your questions under these videos in the comment section, and I will respond to the questions to the best of my ability. And if I don't know a response to a question, I encourage everybody who's watching this video and who has advised, maybe they're an immigration lawyer or through experience, I encourage you to respond to those questions so that everybody has the necessary information they need before the application opens in October. Just to remind you, when you're putting in your application, make sure you're using the correct link. If you have a problem finding a link to apply for the green card lottery, all the links will be under my videos. So all my videos have the correct links if you have a problem finding the correct link. Number 2, don't pay anybody to apply for you. You can do it yourself. So if you have a website advising you to create a profile and to pay a certain amount of money, just know you're being scammed. The green card lottery is free, so don't pay anybody to apply for your green card. I know I've received a lot of questions about if I can help anybody apply for their green card lottery, and the answer is no. One, because with the recent technology, we have IP addresses. So if I put in an application, you're in Kenya or you're in Nigeria or you're in Ghana or whatever, I put in an application for you, the IP address is in the US. So if for some reason, maybe now they monitor where you're applying from, that will really disqualify you, and I don't want that to happen. So please place your own applications. I also encourage you, don't send your information to somebody in the US to apply for you. I know you trust those people, but I'm gonna tell you right now, not all your relatives or your friends in the United States wants you to come here and join them. So maybe they might apply for you and maybe put something wrong, or maybe put in 2 applications, or do something to make sure that you get disqualified. So don't trust anybody to apply for you. The best person to trust to apply is yourself. Go in there, watch all those videos, get all the necessary information that you require, and then put in an application for yourself. Even if you go to a cyber cafe, make sure you're standing there, they're putting in an application, and after they apply for you, let them print out the confirmation number and hand it over to you. So don't trust anybody, and I repeat, anybody, including your relatives, your friends, and anybody else. Put in your application for you. You might send your information to me. How guaranteed are you that I'm gonna apply for you correctly? I might change your names, maybe spell your names wrong, or put in 5 applications for you so that you get disqualified, or enter the wrong picture to make sure that you get disqualified so that you don't win. Not everybody wants you to succeed. There's some that want you to succeed genuinely, and some that are pretending to want you to succeed, but at the back of their minds, they don't want you to make it. So to be on the safe side, to be guaranteed that you place your application correctly, do this yourself. If you have to go to a cyber cafe, or if you have to have somebody apply for you, make sure you're right there with them. You're standing there, you're double checking your names, you're double checking all the information that's getting entered in the application to make sure that everything that is provided in there is correct. Also, I've noticed like a lot of people are asking me for my email address or my phone number or my contact information so that they can contact me directly, and I'm not providing any of that. And you know why? Because I don't want you to be scammed. The moment I start giving my email address out or giving all my phone numbers out, people will pop out of the woods and they will pretend to be me. They will create accounts pretending to be me, and they will try to get your money. That's why if you have all questions, any questions that you have, please type under the comment section and I will respond to those questions. And if I can't, I'll try to find somebody to respond to those questions. So if you want to reach me on my social media, maybe on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my Twitter, on my TikTok, you can send me questions there, but I will respond them in a video. So I will read your question and then I'll come here and do a video and respond to all those questions. I won't respond to people. I won't ask you for any money. I'm not asking for any money. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm providing this information for free. If you have a question, again, type in the comment section and we'll all answer your questions. That is to help you so that you don't get scammed. It's not that I don't want to apply for people, but I just want to make sure that you're placing your application and you're confirming that you placed the application. And when you check in May and you didn't win, you'll come back and say, maybe I didn't apply correctly for you, and maybe I did it correctly. But then, it's just like a lottery, so you might win or you might not win. So me placing the application and you placing the application is the same chances of winning. It's not like when I do it for you, you will win, or when somebody else does it for you, you will win. It goes under the same pool, and then they pull in the numbers out of that pool. So whether I do it or somebody does it or you do it, is the same chances of winning. Let's begin with the first question. The first question asks you your names, your first name, your middle name, and your last name. People have been asking me, in my case, I have 4 names. Maybe I have 2 middle names, I have 4 names. The application only has 3. In my case, you can double check this with a legal attorney, but if I were you, I will put both middle names in the middle names section. So you put your first name. If you have 2 middle names, put both names and then put your last name if you have 4 names. And then I'm going to review it again. Your names need to match. So if you have a passport already, I will encourage you to start using those names because you have a passport already. So use the names on your passport on this application. If you don't have a passport, you can use the name on your ID or your name on your birth certificate. But just make sure when you go for the interview, they will ask you for your names, your first name, your middle name, and your last names. And then they will need proof that the names that you put on the application and the names on the proof that you're providing match. So make sure all those names on your application and your documents match. I've had questions about when some people went to high school or college and then they switch their names around, so their names on the school documents and the names on the passport or the birth certificate or the IDs are different. I will encourage you not to use the names on the school documents, because with that it's an easy fix. Use the name as they appear on your birth certificate or your passport or your ID, because those names are permanent. Your school documents, you can just go and then have them corrected. So So if your names on the school documents are different than your names on your identification, use the names on the identification, because your school documents is easy to fix that. If your names are different on your birth certificate, on your ID, and on your passport, if they are different, then you need to get a lawyer involved. You need to go get something that's called a sworn affidavit, and that way you get names that you'll be using. So if you have a sworn affidavit, then use those names that you chose to use in this application. Make sure all the names on your documents and your application match. Question number 2 on the application is your gender. You're either female or you're male. I know there's so many people, especially in America, they don't identify by any gender. They're neither men or women, so they don't have a gender that they identify with. So in that case, I don't know what to advise in that case, because on this application, there's no provision that's provided as the other gender. So it's only 2. So you'll either have to pick one, either female or male. So on the gender section, if you're a male or a man, you pick that, and if you're a woman or female, pick that. Question number 3 is about your date of birth. So you have to enter the day. So if you're born on the 13th, you put the 13th and then the month. So if it's April, it's 04. If you're born in September, it's 09, and then the year. So if you're born on the 1st, you have to put 01. And then the month, if you're born in May, is 05. And then the year, you have to put 4 numbers. So if you're 1990, you have to put 1990. Question number 4 asks you about the city where you're born. I've gotten a lot of questions about this question here, about the city. In the application, it says, do not put a district, do not put a province, do not put a state, do not put a county. So make sure where you live is a city. And how can you find out? Google. Just Google your city, just the name of the city. If it's like there's a time I Googled Nairobi, it will say a city in Kenya, so you know it's a city. So if you put Bungoma there and it says this is not a city, there's no city in Kenya, it means it's not a city. So make sure that the city that you put in there is an actual city. So if it's not a city, on your application, there's a box that you can check. You can actually click with your mouse that selects city unknown. So if where you live, you Google and then it doesn't say city in Kenya or city in Ghana or city in Sri Lanka, then select the city unknown. Don't put a district, don't put a province, don't put a state, don't put a county, because your application might get disqualified. You want to make sure you fill all these questions correctly. So if you don't live in a city, city unknown. Question number 5 asks you, which country were you born? So where were you born? Myself, I was born in Kenya. I live in America and I'm an American citizen right now, but I was not born here. So as much as I live here, I have citizenship here, I was not born here. Make sure you put the country where you were born, not a country where you are a citizen. Question asks you about the photograph or the photos. We already covered, I did like 2 videos on the photo requirements. I did examples on how to crop your photos to the right dimensions and requirements for the DV lottery. So we already covered all that. So once you have the correct photo, number 7 is where you upload your picture. It's important that you save your picture where you can't confuse with another picture, because once you upload it, when I did it ways back, it won't let you view the picture. So make sure that the picture you're selecting and uploading is the correct picture. I remember when I applied the first time, I selected the wrong picture, and then I went back and I'm like, did I select the right picture? And then I realized I just click on a random picture. So make sure when you're uploading the picture, you double check like 20 times. Make sure that the picture you are selecting from the desktop or the folder that you saved in is the picture that you want uploaded. Don't make a mistake of selecting another picture because you'll get disqualified. It's important that you enter the right picture during your application. Your mailing address. What is the mailing address? That is where you get your mail. I know a lot of people in Africa, they have like post office box. It's okay to use that. But if you live like in the US and then your house is your mailing address, they bring your mail there, you put there. And I will show you in an example how I entered the mailing address or my PO box address. Question number 9 asks you a country where you live today. Where do you live today? If you live in the United States, you can select you live in the United States, but you're claiming eligibility as a Kenyan. So if you live in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, or whatever you currently live, I know there's some people working in the UAE, you can put in you live in the UAE, or you live in Saudi Arabia, or you live in Dubai, or you live in Nigeria. But if you want your mail to go to Nigeria, you can put your mailing address as a Nigerian post office or whatever. If you live in Kenya, you can put your post office there. Literally, like, the mailing address is where you want your mail to go. Where you live is where you currently stay. Like, I live here, but if you're gonna be somewhere for like 2 months, I don't see the point of putting you live there because you're not gonna be there permanently. So question number 10 asks about your phone number, which is optional, but I will put in a phone number. Put in a phone number that you can be reached at. Even if you don't have a phone number, like, you don't have a cell phone, you can use your friend or somebody like a trusted relative, a trusted friend. You can put their phone number there. With the phone number, make sure you include the country area code. Like if you live in Kenya, that would be like +2547 and the number. Make sure you include that +254 +253 +1, the area code. Make sure you include that in your phone number, because don't just put numbers there. Sometimes you can't know which phone, like which country it's from. So make sure you put the code, so the code will link, like it will tell me, okay, this phone number is a Kenyan phone number. Question number 11 is the mother of all questions. This is the important part, your email address. Make sure you have an email address and you have a password that you can remember. If you're going to a cyber cafe and the guy decides to open an email address real quick for you, make sure you try to log in and put in the password that he gave you to make sure you can you have access to your email address. Make sure you save your email address and the password, because if you win and you find out you won, everything will be sent to that email address. So if you don't know the email address and you win, then you can't do anything about your win. You can't come here. Make sure you save the email address and the password, and make sure you can access it. Question number 12 is about the highest level of education. What is the highest level of education? So this question asks your education at the time of application. So if you're in college you'll graduate like in a year or 2, and you haven't graduated, you use your highest level, which is high school. In the DV lottery, whether you have a master's, a PhD, or you have a high school, it doesn't matter, because I've seen people with PhDs and masters not win, and somebody with a high school scored a D win. So your education doesn't matter in this application. So just put, as long as you have a minimum, which is a high school that they require, you can put high school. If you have your degree or your master's or your doctorate, you can put those there. But then they won't increase your chances of winning. Like a degree or non-degree doesn't matter in this application. Everybody has an equal chance of getting selected. So whether you put high school or you put your degree, it doesn't matter. Everybody has the same chance of winning. So you don't have to lie and say like I have a degree when you don't have it. just put your highest level of education at the time of application. Question number 13 is the one that I've been getting a lot of questions about, and it asks about your marital status. This is the easiest way to answer these questions. Do you have proof that you're married? Do you have proof that you're separated? Do you have proof that you're divorced? Do you have proof that you're widowed? If you don't have proof, apply as single. So if you're married, I know some people say that they got married and then they did a customary wedding and they got paperwork. So if you have paperwork that shows that you had a customary marriage and this paperwork was before the day of application, you can say you're married. Other than that, like if you're claiming you're married, you need to have a marriage certificate prior to the day of application. So for example, if you're gonna get married tomorrow and you're applying today, you apply as single. Don't even do a day later. I've seen a lot of people go to the interview and then they claim they were married, but then when they apply, they say they were single and they get denied visas. So make sure if you're married, you have a marriage certificate on the day that you're applying for the green card lottery. If not, single. If you're separated, make sure you have documents from the court that says you're separated. If not, single. If you are claiming like you're divorced, do you have divorce papers? If not, you're still married. Apply as married. If you are, single and show your divorce papers. So on the application, it doesn't say single, it says unmarried, which means the same thing. So in the application, you are either unmarried, married, separated legally. So you have legal papers that show you're separated. You are divorced, you have legal papers that show you are divorced, or you are a widow. In that case, they will need a death certificate. 14 asks you about how many kids you have. So if you have one, you just put one. If you have two, if you have three, if you have five. So the reason why you put the number of kids, so if you put 9 children, it opens 9 applications underneath to put every child's name and their picture and their date of birth and all their information. So if you put 2 children, 2 applications for children will pop up. If you put 7 applications for children will pop up in the application to allow you to put their names. So that's why it asks you what's the number of children that you have, so that it knows, like the system knows how many applications to open up to allow you to enter their photograph, their date of birth and their names, and make sure you don't confuse the names. I've gotten a question about, like, I have children, all these children maybe I got from different relationships, they don't have the same last names. Or maybe my son or my daughter doesn't have the same last name as me or my current spouse. It doesn't matter. Whatever name they're using on their birth certificates or their IDs, put all their names there. So all the children under the age of 21 can be included in the application. So if they are 20 years and 11 months, they can be included. So you'll have to enter your spouse's information. So if you're married and then you're entering like your spouse or your children, you'll have to enter that information. And what they ask for their name, first name, middle name, last name. Second, they ask what is their date of birth. Start with the day, the month, and the year. Third, they ask about their gender. Are they male or female? And then they ask about the city where they are born. So if they were born in a place which is not a city, you check the box that says city unknown. And then the last one is the country where they are born. So you have to say the country where your spouse was born. And then the last question will have you upload their picture in the application. The next one is about your children. Again, they will ask you the name, first name, middle name, last name. Question number 2, date of birth, the day, month, or year. Third question, gender, male or female. Fourth question, city where they are born. If they were born in a city, put a city there. If they were not born in a city, say city unknown. And then the next one, they will ask you the country where they were born. Put a country where your children were born. And then the last one will allow you to upload the picture. Make sure you upload a picture that meets the requirement. Also, please note that the order of these questions might change. I'm gonna say just question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to whatever. But then in the application, the questions, the order might have changed. So just make sure you read the question. Don't follow the numbers as I am listing them. Just read the question and then answer the question. I've gotten questions about people asking if I'm on social media. Yes, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all that information is on my YouTube banner. Like if you're looking at my profile on your computer, it's easy. You can just click and then it brings you to the profile. And also, like if you're looking at it on the phone, you can just look and type on the search on your Instagram or your Twitter or whatever, and then you will get to my account. But I encourage you, like if you have any questions, type them on the YouTube videos, so that way I can respond to you. You can get immediate response. On my social media, I get a lot of messages. Sometimes I can't keep up with them and I can't reply to you on time. But if you send or type your message under all my videos in the comment section, I will respond to those questions as soon as possible.